Hey, this is your girl, msyelladiva. I am bringing you another episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 17, Reunion, Part 1, okay? I'm sorry. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome. We do reviews here. It's the Diva Nation, okay? And if you're returning, y'all, welcome back. Welcome back. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. And like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel. And we will begin, y'all. First of all, I just want to give you this. This reunion part was boring. Okay? Boring. It was boring, just as boring as them dresses that they were wearing, okay? I ain't like none of them dresses, okay? None of them, okay? That's why I ain't even do no reviews on it, because I really didn't like none of them dresses, okay? But anyway, Andy said that there are medics back there, Angie, just for any stage accidents. Andy, you wrong for that. You wrong for that. But that was funny. And that was true. Okay. Meredith asked Whitney, before we get started, let's clear up something we talked about at BravoCon. So apparently Whitney was drunker as Cooter Brown. Okay. That's how drunk she was. Okay. Drunker than Cooter Brown, man, okay? At BravoCon, okay? Barely, she couldn't even walk across the stage, okay? That's how drunk she was, okay? So Whitney admitted that she was drunk at BravoCon, and she apologized, but she said she apologized to Meredith, and so she said she wants them to be friends, but Meredith, when she went back to talk to somebody, I don't know who went back to talk to, she said, Meredith twisted it around and said she apologized and that she was wrong. And but Whitney didn't say that she apologized and she was wrong. She just apologized to Meredith, for bringing this up to the thing, but she didn't say she was wrong. So, but Meredith saying, we can't be friends off camera and not friends on camera. She was like, I just can't work like that. And so, and she was like, and she said that, you were drunk, and your husband had to carry you up the stairs. And so Whitney was like, trust me, it'll never happen again. She said, but and she said, and I will never try to be your friend again. So Meredith was like, well, like you remember the conversation because you were so drunk. Whitney was yelling, talking about, I remember the whole conversation. I remember everywhere. Girl, go ahead. And so Meredith was like, I own the truth about me, but I don't own any lies about me. Whatever, Meredith. Don't nobody care about you anyway. Or let me put it this way: I don't care about you. Okay, Seth got a whole new family in Columbus. Okay, allegedly. Okay, he got a whole family in Columbus. Okay, we know y'all in an open marriage or not. Okay, y'all may not be married. Okay, but anyway. So they go to Lisa. They give her little montage, and Andy asks Heather, does she still think Lisa is a risky friend? And Heather was like, yeah, I think she's a risky friend. It's her way or the highway. And so Heather was like, well, you can be snaky. I kept thinking she was saying sneaky, but she's saying snaky. And so Heather was like, give me an example. And so then she was talking about Lisa said farting while making out. Okay. And Heather said, well, Angie said it. And so Lisa was like, well, you told her to say it. You said it would be funny. And Heather was like, it was funny. But Angie said, well, you told multiple people too. Now, mind you, poor Bronwyn looking like, why are all y'all talking about my husband making out with a lady and farting? So she like, Lisa, Heather, and Angie was talking about this. Yeah, they were talking about you all of you behind your back. We're gonna leave that alone now. So she was like, Lisa, Angie told Lisa, you told multiple people too. Now you are confirming. And so then Lisa was like, well, you guys are talking over me. Are you codependent in your responses and your action? You're tag teaming. So Heather was like, it's really rich. Excuse me. It's really rich of you to say that we tag team. She said, because you and Meredith tag team. I agree with that totally. Heather, I agree with that, okay? Because Lisa and Meredith do tag team people. I don't even think Heather and Whitney tag team people, but I don't think Heather and Angie tag team people. But now, Lisa's saying that y'all tag Heather and Angie tag team. Y'all all getting on my nerves. Anyway, yeah. Meredith was like, we stand up for ourselves. We don't tag team. We stand up for ourselves. And so, Heather was like, so why is she always riding so hard for you? Okay. And, she's saying that to Meredith about Lisa. So Lisa was like, riding is a very Utah thing. So Heather was like, well, you from Utah? She was like, I'm not from Utah. I am not from Utah. And so Andy was like, well, where are you from? She was like, I am a New Yorker. She said, I'm born and raised in New York. That's my DNA. Come here. Lisa, you act like you from the 5 boroughs, okay? You act like you from Brooklyn, okay? You from the Bronx, okay? Like J-Lo. Shit, okay? You was riding the subway to school and shit. You from Schenectady, New York, close to Albany. Close to Albany, okay? What the hell? You act like you were from the 5 boroughs, okay? That's my DNA. Girl, you from upstate New York, okay? Oh, God. Anyway, so Andy asked Mary, is Lisa a risky friend? And so Mary was like, yes, she's a risky friend and she's delusional. She said, saying that she lives a very different life from all of us. She said, that don't even make no sense. Now, you notice Lisa didn't say nothing back to Mary, okay? Nothing back to Mary. But she go heads up with Heather. But Mary run the girls, okay? You can't say nothing back to Mary. They don't talk, just like in Kanto, they don't talk about Bruno. They don't talk about Mary either. They don't talk about Mary, okay? So Whitney asked, Andy asked Whitney why she brought the Lisa's lawsuits up when she wasn't even on the RV trip. That was the first episode. And so Whitney was like, I didn't believe she was at work anyway. She said because Lisa does not take a missed opportunity for a girls trip or to film. Okay, so I ain't believe she was in she was working anyway. She said, I thought she was in Miami recovering from her plastic surgery. That's what I thought she was doing, because she said she put a picture out that she was in Miami. So and so then Andy asked Bronwyn, why did she bring up the legal cases against Lisa too. And so Bronwyn was like, well, I didn't do any research on it. It was just in the papers. So that's why I brought it up, because it was just in the papers. I mean, anybody could have brought it up because it was in the paper. So that's why I brought it up. And so Lisa was like, y'all brought it up to denigrate my character. And Andy was like, well, what are the facts of all of these cases? So Lisa said, it's a pending case for a summary judgment. And she said, I got in one active case, but the rest of them are dismissed. She said, so I wasn't worried about them. I don't know why everybody else was worried about them. Heather was like, well, because you said you was richer than everybody. So that's why we brought it up. She said, so your summary judgment, so you have to pay him. Bronwyn said, well, because that's what that means. You got to pay the person back. And so Lisa was like, but Lisa wasn't criminal. She talking to Bronwyn. And so Bronwyn was like, oh, so you're deflecting, she said, from yours. But she said, but I don't have criminal allegations against me. The criminal case, it was against somebody else. But she just got tied into it. But it has been since dismissed and by a judge. And so but it also has been sealed. And she can't talk about it because it's not for her to talk about, because it's not her case. It is whatever this party's case. And so she can't talk about it, Because she can't tell this person's business, basically. And I get it. If it's not her case, then she can't talk about it. She'll be talking about somebody else's business, and then she'll be in a case for a lawsuit for defamation. Nope, I wouldn't talk about it either, Brown. Good for you. But she said, yeah. So mine was dismissed by a judge. She said yours was dismissed, and you have to pay him back. And so then Bronwyn said, and by the way, she said, a fan sent me a video where Lisa's talking about my husband, talking about how he fat and old and got a small penis. And she said, and we had a truce. And I remember that truth. And Andy said, yeah, y'all do have a truce. And so Brown was like, I abided by mine, and she has broken it in every single turn. And so Lisa was like, great speech. Yeah, because you deflected on that too. Great speech. So she gonna clap, she gonna great speech. And so Brown was like, well, it's a true fucking speech. Okay, it's a true fucking speech. I know that's right. So they said that they are they completed, or they're in their 100th episode. So they go, do a montage of the whole series, the whole 6 seasons. So we got Jen Shaw being arrested. We got Lisa talking to her 8 lawyers. We got Mary talking to Jen, talking about you smell like hospital. What else? We got Whitney dropping the cake. That was funny, though. She dropped that cake like 3 times. Mary calling Whitney a little girl. Calling Heather inbred. That was funny, though. When she was looking out the window, she said, Heather looked like she inbred. And then Heather gonna ask her, you still think I look like I'm inbred? And she was like, yeah. Mary getting on the Sprinter talking about you call me a pornography. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Mary, you call me a pornography. And excuse me, I gotta drink something. Hold on. Sorry. You called me pornography. And so Whitney was like, I didn't say you did porn. And so Mary was like, what you say? She said, I called you a predator. So that's still bad. Meredith talking about, you can leave. Yeah, that's it good. And then Heather, proof, receipts, timelines, screenshots. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with me. And Angie saying high body count hair. Okay. And Angie saying I do franchises, not French fries. Angie has some good one-liners. I'm just letting you know. She has some good one-liners. And then they didn't put this in there, but I'm gonna put this in there. Lisa's hot bike moment. Okay. This is all. That's going to always be in in the history of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Her hot mic moment where she told Lisa, she told Meredith that she fucked all of New York. Okay, and it's and what else she say? Like Steph don't have no job or they keep moving. I don't know what it is, but I know she said she fucked all of New York. That's the main thing I say. So I still don't understand why Meredith is so gung-ho about Lisa when she said you fucked all of New York. But we're gonna keep that moving. But they ain't put that in there, but I'm put that in there. Anyway. So they bring out Brittany. She bring out the emotional support bear from Jared. Okay. So they show a montage about being on the yacht, the below deck yacht. So Heather was like, first of all, we don't even notice the cameras anymore. She was like, I didn't even know they were shooting a show. They were shooting a show, so she was just like, she said, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Mary said, she said, well, Heather and Whitney should worry about them finding a cucumber in their suitcase. Okay, so she was like, they should be worried about that part in the Below Deck series. I know that's right. Andy said, Brittany, you were flirting with a lot of men on the boat. She was just like, were you flirting with him to make Jared jealous? And she was like, yes, but I really didn't realize how much I was flirting until I watched it back. So Andy asked, what did you do with Captain Jason, Heather? And so apparently she said on the episode that they fucked around. But apparently she said that means that, that they fucked around as far as going out and having fun and all that other stuff. She said they never had sex and they never kissed. She said, and if I had, fucked Captain Jason, I would shout it from the rooftops. But she said that, but she didn't fuck him. God. Lord have mercy, what's going on? Anyway, so they asked Bronwyn about her cases, and like I said, she can't talk about it because it's not for her to talk about, because it's not her business. She just got caught up in that. Then I think she had to testify against somebody or whatever. So she said, so I can't talk about it. She said, but I could talk about the stuff that happened in college and stuff like that, like the evictions. She had a dispute with her roommate and all that other stuff. She said, I can talk about it because that's what happened to me. And I was young and I was dumb. And she said, but I got lawsuits then. She said, but I can't talk about the other one because it doesn't involve me. So Andy said, Lisa, did you leak did you leak to the press about Brahma's past? And she said, no, that's ridiculous. Brahma said, well, I don't think she leaked it, but she said, but she always makes sure it gets traction. And so Lisa was like, I read it on Twitter like everybody else. And Brahma was like, yeah, it was on Twitter, before we got on the boat. She said, but then it came out that I was late to the boat because of the allegations. And she said, so that came directly from the boat. And so Lisa was like, well, I was having the time of my life. I wasn't thinking about you or anything like that. She said, or anything like that. She was just like, I was having fun. She said, and I have several businesses, so I don't need for you to I don't need to talk about you. So then Heather was like, well, what are your businesses? What is Lux Marketing? She said, I do, she said, because how do you make your money? She said, because I don't understand. That's what Heather's saying. Lisa was like, well, let me break it down for you. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? We do major activations. We incubate brands. Just like NMB, I guess Nikki and Bella. She said, but we sold it. And after 3 years, and Meredith was co-signing, talking about, yeah, they had multiple events and stuff like that. So Heather was like, well, you ain't friends with them no more anyway. But meanwhile, Lisa's still yelling, are you listening? Are you going to listen? Don't cut me off. You going to listen? So Heather was like, I know you sell tequila. But that's it. And so then here go Lisa. That, are you really that disgusting? Oh, you really that disgusting? The question me, what she said, you question me about how I make my money. And so she was just, but Heather was like, yeah, I don't know how you make your money. Lisa was like, I'm a big fucking deal. And then, but Brown was co-signing Heather. So then Lisa goes to Brown talking about, well, how you make your money. You just spend all Todd's money. She said, because that's what he said. He told John that you just spend all his money. Andy was like, well, Angie, do you think Lisa was the source of all the do you think she sent all the stuff to the internet? Angie said, well, I have proof. She said it's in this scroll that Meredith bought me for a gift. Okay, so she hands him the scroll, and that was the end of the episode. But it was just like Lisa was just trying to, have a moment, and Heather too, and it was just like, and then everybody else was just like co-signing, like Heather. I mean, it was just like between Heather and Lisa, pretty much the whole episode. Brown was in there too, so Brown, Lisa, and Heather. Meredith didn't have too much to say, but to co-sign Lisa. Whitney didn't have anything to say. Brittany didn't have anything to say. Angie didn't have anything to say. It was them three just yelling and screaming and arguing, and that's why I felt like the episode was boring, because I don't really care. I don't really care. I think, Lisa's a fraud, That's how I feel. Okay, that's my opinion. Lisa's a fraud. Okay, she don't have this many millions that she claims she has. She don't, she ain't in, the who's who. She may have taken a picture with somebody, but that don't mean that she got them in her Rolodex. Okay, she has them on her phone as contacts. Okay, so you know. I don't believe Lisa and Meredith just get on my nerves. Okay. But anyway, so give me a thumbs up. Like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace, y'all. Peace.